So yeah, folks, well, last day of 2020, I think for a lot of folk, it's like on your bike. And yeah, as we, wait for 2021 to arrive, well, what's ahead? And I think this is where none of us really know what lies ahead. I think the great unknown is what we have. Things are changing so quickly. One moment there's this reality, then there's a very different reality the next day. I think we've all been experiencing it with the intense lockdowns that have been happening in our country and abroad. So yeah, accepting the unknown. How do we do this? Well, I think for the first point for me is to begin understanding why we do not like the unknown. Well, it's a genetic thing. Once upon a time, our ancestors, when they were hunters and gatherers and they were out there in the Great Plains doing their hunting and doing whatever they did, and if the grass moved ahead, they were very cautious because that grass, it was pretty unknown what was in that grass. Could be a saber-toothed tiger. And if they were the sort who, saw the grass move and all of a sudden it automatically assumed it was just the breeze blowing through the wind, blowing through the grass, and leapt up and said, oh, how wonderful, let's cool off in the breeze. Well, I suppose most of us wouldn't be here because they would have been the saber-toothed tiger's lunch. So it was the ones that were more cautious, who crouched, who looked at the unknown with a sense of dubiousness, like, let's imagine the worst. Those are the ones that ended up going home, and their genes were the ones that were kind of spread throughout and are the ones that are still with us in the modern day world. So we've got these cautious genes inherited from our ancestors who didn't like the moving grass, the unknown moving grass. And here we are with these cautious genes, and adding to that, a very powerful brain, a very evolved brain, which can imagine. So as we look into 2021, there's a lot of moving grass, right? And what our brain does, it's automatically we want to find certainty. We want to start knowing what's in that moving grass. We fill the gaps of what's in that moving grass with stories. Now, those stories may not necessarily be true. Most of them are assumptions, but we forget that. And we use those stories to create a sense of certainty. Well, this is what's going to most likely happen in 2021, and we start to believe that. And we can start creating a lot of imagined saber-toothed tigers, which are not necessarily there, or more than what really we deserve to have in our life. I mean, they're not all going to be there. So we start to worry because our brain doesn't know the difference. It kind of forgets that we're thinking about the future. We're thinking in the future. It believes that it's all happening now, and we release all these stress hormones into our body. We're very stressed, and with this worry, we start to forget the present moment. And this worry has two purposes. Well, if we can do something about it, worry can be a great ally. When we are worrying and there's something we can do about it, well, it can jumpstart us to act. This is what I said in the last vlog. It's where fear becomes your friend. But if we're worrying about stuff that we cannot control, well, I feel that's pretty futile. So this is where the letting go is. It's around what we cannot control. And there's a lot of memes or words out there, control what you can, let go what you can't. But why is it so hard? Well, genetically, it's a threat to our survival to let go. So how can you practically work with it? Well, for me, as I go into 2021, I know I'm going to be doing a lot of meditation, and that's letting go of those thoughts. That's for me the purpose of meditation and deep breathing. Part of it is to let go of those thoughts that can hold on to a certain future which is not necessarily true. And as I break away from those thoughts, that's an act of letting go. And then working with the Ho'oponopono as a mantra. If you've ever heard of it, great, work with it. If you haven't, go and look at some sites around it. The Ho'oponopono, it's an ancient Hawaiian mantra. I use it a lot, and I normally get the words mixed up, but it doesn't matter. They're still wonderful words. I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, thank you. And I work with that to bring me to the present moment. And yes, getting out in nature. Nature is a great way to relieve our stress hormones. I know in Japan they call it Shinrin-yoku, which is where you do forest bathing. There's many ways. But the idea is to become as present as possible, especially as we go into the unknown. That for me is a way of working with the unknown. So folks, wherever you are right now, lots of love to you. It's been wonderful sharing a lot of stuff with you over the year in our community. And yes, as we move forward into 2021, I look forward to being sharing with you and being a part of whatever you're doing in life, one way or the other. And until we chat again, take care and stay aware.